Well, on tech issues like this, we like to bring in Graham Williams to talk about it. What do you make of what happened here?
Well, the motivation seems to be very curious, because you have someone who's saying that they've hacked the site because they want to see more user privacy, but they've also seemed to take umbrage with the site itself, asking them to take the site offline completely. So it's a bit confusing here. If you're an advocate for privacy, why would you go ahead and release all of those details? It doesn't make a lot of sense.
And how would you describe to someone like me that doesn't understand the intricacies of it the way you do, what happened here? How did the hackers, do you think, manage to get at this information?
Well, from what we're hearing right now, it's someone who had interaction with the infrastructure of Avid Media. So essentially, it may be someone who was a contractor who was working on the computer systems themselves. They are saying it's an inside job. So essentially, they've taken that data, they've stolen it, they've removed it off-site, and now they're threatening to release it.
You know, it's got to be terrifying, obviously, for the people who put information on this website, sensitive, personal, potentially embarrassing information. But I wonder about the wider lesson here. You know, I know people who have said for a long time they don't trust anything that they send information that might be accessible on the internet. Always struck me as a little bit paranoid. Maybe those people are right.
I don't know that they're necessarily right or that they're necessarily wrong. I think what we are looking at, though, is a system that is inherently always going to be breached. It doesn't matter how good your security is, someone is going to break it eventually. The question is, how quickly can security researchers come up with something that's better than what's about to be broken? The big thing that we're starting to see right now is the anonymization of payment methods, and that's something that I think we're going to see on sites like this going forward. Essentially attaching your name and a credit card to a profile like this, in the event that something is hacked, your identity is compromised. Looking at new payment systems like randomized credit card numbers, or even, for example, Bitcoin, it does remove the element of identity, making these sites more safe for people.
Okay, I don't see a scenario where I'd be using Bitcoin. Describe for me the randomized credit card numbers, though. How does that work?
Well, we're starting to see it with systems like Android Pay and Apple Pay. Essentially, when you go to pay for a product or a service, it generates a credit card number. It's a one-time use, and it's used for that purpose. Once that purchase is done, the credit card number is no longer valid, and it's no longer attached to anything, so it really can't be tracked back to you.
And so how would that protect, I was going to say me, how would that protect someone in a case like a website like this?
Well, in the case of something like this, if you are using a pseudonym, a false name, or if you're using a prepaid credit card or a randomized credit card, essentially that account is violated. No one really knows your name. It's really not attached to you, and you can go ahead, go about your business, and not be terrified that your details are now about to be released.
And there have been other cases like this, I guess, not involving Ashley Madison, but this particular hack reminds you of others.
It does, yeah. I mean, probably the biggest one was the Sony PlayStation hack that happened a few years ago. It affected me directly. I have a PlayStation account, and my account details were compromised. Sony famously, came out at the beginning saying it hadn't happened, and obviously the fallout was months of where their services were not available to users. It was a very big deal, and this is equal to that, I think. 40 million users compromised. It's a pretty big hack.
All right, Graham. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.